Hi, I'm Joe Netherworld, and I'm here with your daily tarot card reading for Saturday, April 5th. I keep on getting freaked out. It's weird. I keep on wanting to say November, November, November. And the only thing November is the end of things, and April, of course, is the beginning of things. They're very diametrically opposed. So it's interesting that it keeps on popping up in my mind. And I think on the psychic, before we get into the card reading, on an intuitive level, I feel that there's been a lot of unfinished business that all of us have kind of haunting us. I know I've been very busy, getting ready for the spring and almost in denial. Like you get so used to winter in the Northeast that you think it's never going to end. And then you get this manic mode where it becomes spring. So I think something to be careful of is to make sure that we're ready to move forward and do that like with a fearless and open heart and not second guess yourself about being ready or not. And I'm going to just mess these cards up a little bit. Kind of just throw them around and get them to do some stuff on their own. Sometimes shuffling is shuffling, but you have to kind of get in there, and it's like making a meatloaf or something. You got to work it, get some energy into it. I'm enjoying the beautiful lack of snow, almost lack of snow, and awaiting the allergy season. I saw my first mosquito today. Must have overwintered in a doorway or something. But I'm like, really? We just got done with it being, minus 10, and now the mosquitoes are out. And I guess it's the nature of living in a four-season part of the world. But anyway, today's read is here. So we're going to pick our main card, our primary card, and then we'll pick two qualifiers. It's a 3-card read. It's what I've been doing. I think that's kind of a great way to intuit what the forces are of the day. So let's see. And right now I'm going to do this and this and this. I'm going to take these cards up, then I'm going to pull this one up. And its main card up today is Justice. Now that's always an interesting card. One, in the real world, the plain world, it has a lot to do with court cases, decision making. If you're waiting for final answers on things, it's or getting actually heard for your side of the story. So that's a big part of things. It's also an autumn vibe card. It's a part of the autumn end of the deck. So maybe that's when the interest in November comes in. Okay, and I'm going to pull this card because it's jumping. And saw you earlier. Here we go. The Eight of Swords, which is about being surrounded by bad decisions, sharp decisions, kind of closing your eyes to things you have to decide about. So with Justice and the Eight of Swords, it is a day about hard decisions and having to make them. Finally, they've been held off too long. Sometimes it's to do with physical things. Sometimes it's time to go to the doctor. You've been not dealing with problems. You've just, or person decisions like, you know what, I'm finally too old for this. Or, I'm too young for that. I can't follow those rules. You have to sometimes realize there's no longer compromise involved in the situation. That's what when the Eight of Swords attached to Justice kind of rears its face, its blindfolded face. It's telling us that we have to, okay, it's time for hard decision making. And we can't be bound. It's almost being frozen. The Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords always represents being frozen, being stuck. You're surrounded by bad things, sharp things, and combined with Justice, those things are decisions and situations that have to be dealt with. And our other card up today, it's great, is the Queen of Swords. In relation to Justice, that is a strong, empathic, powerful card about cutting through the bullshit. Part of my French. That wasn't French. Oh my. Late night cars are flashing by this is my office. The Queen of Swords cuts through, and it's one sword, and it's no longer about being surrounded by swords. It's about wielding the sword, cutting things out of your life, making harsh decisions, and then there's a bounty from that. And it's about making harsh decisions, not out of a militaristic kind of, like if that was the King of Swords, it'd be more about being proactively destructive and making decisions that are just for you, snatching the prize, moving forward. The Queen of Swords is about more on an emotional level, making decisions and protecting yourself from, it's like taking up arms against these negative things around you and removing things that are negative. It's not about seeking battles, it's about protecting yourself from battles. So you've got some great power here today. Justice is on your side in the situation. So I would say today is a day fortune favors the bold type of day, where you have to deal with these problems you've been maybe letting sit a little bit too long, being controlled by other people, being taken advantage of, basically, or being pushed aside. And now today's like, oh no, we have to fix that. That has to change. We have to stop that. And it's also about personal change. The Queen of Swords is on a defensive, mode here as well, where it's like, if you're not going to change, I'm going to change. And that is truly the most powerful scenario you can be in, because as much as you try and change the outside world, you can never change that as much as you can change yourself. So keep that in mind. The most powerful decisions you can make are regarding you. Not, I'm going to fix this person, remove this person from my life, fix this problem. And yes, some of these problems might be, I have to take care of these bills. I have to pay some of these things. I have to get rid of this. I have to see a doctor about a medical problem that you've been neglecting because you haven't had the time for it. Protect yourself today. Make decisions about yourself. Be a little bit selfish and self-centered. Those are proactive and positive states of mind. They've been corrupted to be controlling states of mind by other people. They always try and make, they're being selfish all the time, and they point out your occasional selfish needs as negative, not ever taking into consideration that, they're basically using you. So take all this into consideration tonight. But, don't be paranoid or overzealous about these situations. Fix what needs to be fixed and really deal with it. Start with yourself first. Like, empower yourself, take up your sword, turn the swords that are around you into a weapon you wield. And sometimes you can use, the one sword, the most powerful sword, against the 8 swords surrounding you. You gotta have to be the big shot, carry the big sword, and cut down these problems before they, come up. Right now they're daggers. Before they become swords, cut them back. And justice is on your side. So if you feel that today's the day about confrontation at work, you don't talk to a boss about your job, people have been, maybe you feel they've been unjust to you, today's the day to explain that, fight for yourself, and do not explain your situation. Explain what you don't like about your situation. Sometimes we fall into a realm where we're always trying to justify why we're unhappy or why we like that. The bottom line is, if you're unhappy, that's where you start your conversation and your argument or your statement from. You don't go back and explain how all these things add up, because then you'll get sidetracked. Today's about a blunt, sword-filled day. Make your statements, clean up house, throw people out that have been sticking around too long. Things that throughout the things that you've been meaning to throw away for the last year, get rid of them. It's time to, and you'll begin to realize at the end of this day that all these little things have been problems. And though they've been small swords, small daggers all around you, you're now in a cage. You've built a cage out of your problems around you. Today's the first day you got to break out of that cage, stand up for yourself, stand up. And it's not like, maybe your problems are mundane, maybe they're little things, but you know what? A lot of little things will crush you just as much as one big thing will. So keep that in mind today. It's Saturday, it's the weekend. Some of us are off on Saturdays and such. Make something of it, but deal with these situations today. And if they can't be dealt with today, make a plan to deal with them as soon as you get in that situation again. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have a magical day, of course. I like to leave you with that because I think that we should be more magical, more insightful to the world around us. And, a pleasant evening, of course. I'll be here again around midnight. There'll be a new video up. Some things to be said, journeys to be taken, mysteries. Right now, on a kind of psychic and occult and witchcraft level, it's kind of a quiet time. We're heading towards, of course, we're heading out of new moon 0 towards the full, but we've got a little ways to go, to the 15th, I believe. So keep that in mind. Make your full moon plans. This is a great full moon. This will be the first full moon in spring. So that's a great time to start new projects. And all this has been about, last couple of days, is new projects, new partnerships. Today's about just taking care of the crap. It's like spring cleaning. I'll sum it up. This reading is about spring cleaning. So clean your houses. Until that point, I'm going to push this magic button and see you sometime around midnight.